We're talking about how to make the Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas more inclusive for black coaches. Again, this is the oldest high school football all-star game in the country. It's also raised over $80 million for the Shriners Hospital for Children. An incredible accomplishment that's to be lauded. That said, the numbers are pretty blunt when it comes to the involvement of black coaches. There's just not been anywhere near enough. I wanted to suggest a couple things that may be able to help that situation immediately. I don't think most people realize that the two states pick their coaches in two entirely different ways. And so my first suggestion would be less criteria for South Carolina and more criteria for North Carolina. North Carolina's decision-making process is kind of willy-nilly. It also, in the past, has involved 10 white people and no minorities. So, North Carolina could probably use a little bit of structure, whereas, it took Shell Dula, the head of the South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association, almost 45 minutes to explain his process for picking Shrine Bowl coaches to me. Part of that is how thorough he is, and part of that is that there are a lot of rules, and it really rewards longevity and punishes those that, don't stay in coaching and teaching for 40 to 45 years. That just doesn't happen as much anymore, especially with the pretty pitiful pay that most teachers get and coaches get. So. North Carolina maybe needs more structure, and South Carolina maybe needs a little bit of less. The other thing I think could help is why not add one or two more positions to the coaching staffs? And these could be conditional coaching positions. So, we know that since 1975, South Carolina has had 42 head Shrine Bowl coaches, and only 4 have come from the 1A ranks. We also know that a third of the black coaches in South Carolina's 1A classification, a third of the coaches are black. So maybe if you made a classification requirement, maybe you reach more black people that way, more black coaches that way. Could be a geographical. We also know that there's a heavy skew towards the low country when it comes to black coaches in South Carolina. I don't have the numbers on North Carolina, but I suspect it's something similar. So two things I think could help right away is that if North Carolina developed a little bit more of a structured way of picking coaches that involved more diverse people at the table, and if South Carolina maybe lessened its longevity requirements and was a little more realistic about the challenge that coaches and teachers have to be in coaching and teaching that long, and also just add positions to the Shrine Bowl staffs and just include more people in general.